music, we will give his story and pass it on to the youth or to anybody that doesn't know the story about hemp and the Emperor Wears No Clothes. So that's what it is. It is what it is.
And for sure, they're going to be on the Jack Harris Emperor Wears No Clothes soundtrack, which you can find out when it's coming out at hempcansavtheplanet.blogspot.com. But for sure, the Free Eddie Lepp song is going to be on there. I have to negotiate some things, but for sure it's going to be on there. And now we're going to introduce Arian Roscom, the king of cannabis. Why'd you get involved in this project?
Well, for me also, I met Jackie in the early 90s. And at that time already Holland was having some issues with the police, as you all know, and still now. And at that time, we all called up on other countries, especially at the Cannabis Cup. I always, in my speech, asked you guys to stand up in America and try to legalize for us. And we had some good years in the end, late 90s, and then the Dutch government started cracking down again, as happens now. Well, you all have to realize in this country we went down from 2,000 coffee shops to now 600. And luckily now, again, the crackdown was still going on, but because of the situation in America, now even the Dutch government and some other European governments are looking twice before they're doing something, because they think, hey, maybe we are 20 years behind and doing things. And one of the men who told me a lot, of course, was Jack Herer. As you saw, I got a book from him in the early 90s somewhere. And he also asked me to name a seed after him, so I got a Jack Herer seed that are very successful. Same as Ed Rosenthal asked also.
And delicious.
And delicious. So, and he told me a lot about the whole movement, and he gave me one of his first copies, and I had very, very long nights with him and other people talking about this whole hemp movement. He explained about the oil and about the sailing, and I'm a sailor, so all those things. So for me it was very logic when Melissa approached me to help her make this documentary, because I think it's very important. We only have books, and only his book is a thing that we can relate to. There's no other book about this industry, actually. So a film will open the eyes of more people in other countries, because in California you're maybe far, and in Holland we are maybe far, but we have a long way to go in the rest of the world. So this is why I want to help make this documentary. And so Greenhouse Seed Company supports this project. Thank you.
Rochelle Ballin, who got an opportunity to do a breathe break with Jack Herer right after his 70th birthday, which is on his YouTube, youtube.com/JackHererTV, to get some great memories. There's hours and hours of footage. Rochelle Ballin, why'd you get involved?
Well, at the first filming with Jack and Eddie Lepp, it was really fantastic, and Melissa wanted me to do this breathe break, and Jack had such a good time, and then Jack and Jeannie did put it on their YouTube, and I felt such a part of the whole process. And then the second filming, Jack wanted me involved, and he basically that day only worked with Melissa Ballin and myself, which was a tremendous honor and a friendship and a sense of compassion and love. And I kept finding myself saying to him, we're going to sing at your 100th birthday. Almost every time I saw him, we did have a premiere, he loved it, he loved being a co-director. He said, Melissa really is there for me. I do a lot for a lot of people, but she's doing this for me. And he said, I love your whole family, because Brandon spent hours doing the editing, and he really enjoyed the entire family. He met all of my 3 children. And then after the premiere and Wire Image photographed him, I said it really is important to take the message more and more mainstream, get more people involved, and also at a certain point when everything happened to Eddie Lepp, it became even more important that we support the movement. And then after that, I did some lectures with him in Los Angeles, and we were just there, and he was always so affectionate and loving. When Jack loved you, that was really, really, really special. He showed it, and we just pray and meditate and wish him only the very best for the next 100 years.
To pray and to medicate.
And now we have Rick Simpson, who I had the pleasure of spending 3 weeks in the Czech Republic, hosted by Baron Ramsey, Hemp Cosmetics, lecturing at the Hemp is Medicine Tour. And Jack Herer was obviously the featured guest with Rick Simpson for the Konopi Jelek, which stands for Hemp is Medicine Tour. And I was supposed to just tag along to film the process of these living legends. And Jack, while I was in Amsterdam as a guest of Greenhouse, setting up the premiere here, Jack had the heart attack. So they asked me would I still be a guest and film the process. It would be a tribute to Jack Herer, which is very important, and also a sneak preview of the trailer of the film, and I could film the Rick Simpson lectures. I learned a lot on this trip, and you'll be seeing that footage hosted by Baron Ramsey at hempcansavetheplanet.blogspot.com, if you're catching on that this is a recurring theme. And we learned that hemp oil can cure cancer, and now everybody knows because it's a featured story in High Times magazine. So today we're bridging the gap between pop culture and medicine, because it's an incredible community of people that are very hip culturally, because they see beyond the lies of DuPont and Anslinger and George Bush Jr. and Sr., but also because there are doctors here and lawyers here and business people and entrepreneurs and activists and European policymakers. So now the world comes together and the truth starts to come out. This is very interesting. And so I introduced Rick Simpson. Share with us why you got involved in the project.
Thank you, folks. Well, as some of you folks know, I came to the hemp movement through the back door, through the medical door. And, well, I guess it was, we put a run from the cure back in January of 2008. And about 3 months later, I get this call from Jack Herer. And at first I couldn't believe, is this real? I heard the name so many times. But unfortunately, I have to admit, I was very misinformed. So Jack asked me to come on his show, an internet show at the time, so I was on several times with him, and what an honor. But Jack and I, we became friends, as time went on. But Jack, the first show I went on, I told Jack, I said, I found out what was going on with the stroke and everything. I said, Jack, get on the oil, wake up. And I think me and Jack are a lot alike. We're pretty stubborn, and we just kind of go ahead and do what we do. But unfortunately, I think Jack started off with weaker varieties like shake oil, that type of thing. And I'm always pushing the very best, the bud. That's what you need. But he did get dramatic results even with that. I was on the show about 45 days after Jack and I first come in contact. Eddie Lepp was on one night. And he told me, he said, Rick, I was there the first day that Jack Herer took a dose of that oil. He said, within 1 week, I started taking it. He said, with every day, you could see the difference. And he said, Jack and I were just over at the big hemp festival over in Oakland. And he said,